Hi guys, happy Tuesday. So I stopped in the Passaic thrift store and I found this beautiful iron stand, and it works perfectly with my smallest fern. I love the way that looks on there. The other ferns are very, very big. This little guy, well, he actually looks bigger on this stand than he did before, but I think the stand makes it look great. The other monsters over there, but this one is perfect here, and I love that stand. So I found the stand. I found a great book with 2 CDs for my dad for Christmas. The CDs are in the back of the book. Everything's there. It's famous headlines from history, so he'll dig that. And then there's the actual newscast of the headlines on the CDs, so that I thought that would be really cool. And I found 2 CDs over there for myself, and that was it. Because I went to get my flu shot today, so that was quick and easy. And then I went over there. Then I went to the food store. Went a couple of places because I want to make caramel apples with you guys. One day this week, I'll make some caramel apples. That is another really fun autumn thing to do, right? Hi, boo-boo. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. And what else? Oh, I was trying to show you the Downflow incense burner in action, but you can't have any kind of breeze. There can't be any breeze, or it just blows like a regular incense. But if it's very, very still, the idea is the smoke comes down like that. Can you see that a little bit? And once that fills, it fills this one, then it comes down to this one, fills that one, fills that one, fills that one. So it's basically like a waterfall of smoke. And it's very, very cool. But it's really hard to use these outside because there's very rarely not some sort of breeze. But you can kind of see the smoke billowing down into the second one there. Okay, maybe almost filling, and then the breeze comes and blows it away. But it's really, really cool. So I put the little Frankenstein right there. And I really love that plant stand, so that was fun. And that's about it for now. I put that there. I put the little alpine bell there. Sorry, the mailman just came. He brought packages. Look at the size of this puffball. Look at my foot, and look how the puffball is growing. Amazing, right? So yeah, I put the little alpine bell right there on a little hook so he hangs freely. I love that. Did you see the mailman? You didn't bark. Good boy. So, I wonder what I got. I got 2 packages right here. He delivered the Downflow incense earlier in the mailbox. Then he came with the truck for these, so let's see what we got. Oh, I put that little cat right there. Love him. So, it's a warmish day, but it's not very sunny. There's a little bit of sun. Not as much as they said there would be. But what are you going to do? Oh yeah, and I forgot to show you that I hung the wine bottle right here under the umbrella. It looks really cool. The 1959 vintage. Very fun. Hi guys, happy Tuesday. We are outside on the deck. It's a very nice day, but the sun is not. There's a lot of clouds around. There's some blue sky, but there's mostly clouds. And today I'm going to show you, this is for Cindy, it's for Carm, and it's for Raymond T. Vinyl, my avid reader friends, and anybody else who loves great books. I'm going to show you what I have read recently. I'm going to go in order of how I read them. And I'll also show you the book that I read in one day yesterday. I couldn't put it down. But first, I'm going to show you the CDs I found in the thrift today. In the Passaic thrift, I found Dark Side of the Moon. Very fun. And I found Revolver, which is one of my favorite Beatles records. This has so many great things on it. Eleanor Rigby, Here, There, and Everywhere. She said. Such great stuff. I just really, I love this album. So it was a fun find. I also have a very exciting surprise at the end. We're having a Dogfish Head Namaste, Belgian style white. This one has lemongrass, coriander, peppercorns, and a generous dose of good karma. So it's one of my favorites, and I just felt like something different today. Here's to a generous dose of good karma. All right, let's start with our reads. We're going to start with Anger is an Energy by John Lydon. One of the best biographies I've ever read. This one and Keith Richards' book are two of my very favorites in the world. This one I could read again and again. This guy is so witty and so fabulous. It's called My Life Uncensored by John Lydon. Anger is an Energy. The best. He's such a great guy. I just love Johnny Rotten. Alright, next we have, this is so great. Distilled Spirits, Getting High Then Sober with a Famous Writer, a Forgotten Philosopher, and a Hopeless Drunk. This is an incredible book. This is, I believe one of these guys was, well, one of them, it's on Latin. One of the writer is the author of the best-selling The Harvard Psychedelic Club. So, I don't know, I believe at one point they were using LSD to treat alcoholism in the very beginning. But this is a very interesting book, and three very interesting guys, all of which were serious alcoholics. But this is really great. If you can find it, Distilled Spirits by Don Lattin. Excellent book. The Lost Weekend was my next read. The Lost Weekend by Charles Jackson. It says, a masterpiece of psychological precision. This is, of course, it was made into a film. I believe Ray Milland played the lead, and it was a very intense story. And this is a classic, and it really should be read. If you're interested in addiction and things like that, this is an excellent read, and this guy really was a degenerate alcoholic. And if you've ever seen the movie, it's excellent. Milland does a great job. Marvelous and horrifying, the best fictional account of alcoholism I have read. Unbelievable. Definitely highly recommend that. One of my favorite books ever. And I got one of these for my mother also because it's just the best. Now, here on YouTube, there is a guy, his channel is called One Bike, One World, and he is the Scottish guy that travels around the world on his bike with his little cat, Nala. And this is his book, Nala's World, and this is such a wonderful read. It goes all the way from him finding Nala on the side of the road, and I believe it was in Serbia or Croatia, something like that, but he found her on the side of the road. he fed her some of his food, and then he was going to travel on, but the little kitten ran after him, and he couldn't leave it. So they've been inseparable ever since, and if you've never seen his channel, you need to see it. It is so magical. The cat is so cute. And there's Dean and Nala right there. There they are. Nala in the little bicycle basket. It's so great. One man, his rescue cat, and a bike ride around the globe. Dean Nicholson, Nala's World. This is another one of those books you can't put down. It's so great. Then I read Gypsy Boy by Mikey Walsh. My Life in the Secret World of the Romany Gypsies. This was incredible. It took me where I didn't expect to go, because Mikey was horribly abused by his family, by his father for the most part, and he, I don't know, he just reveals that he was a gay kid in amongst a gypsy clan, and that is an absolute no-no. So his life was pure hell until he got out. But this story is about him growing up and what he went through, and it was so good that when I found out that he wrote another book, Gypsy Boy on the Run, I had to get that too. So the next book I read was Gypsy Boy on the Run. This is after he left his family, had to kind of hide where he was living because he was living with a man, and his father would harass him wherever he was if he found out where he was. So, and he did find him a few times. It was really harrowing, but this was an excellent read. Excellent read. Trying to Float by Nikolai Rips. This is an excellent, excellent book. She writes about her childhood growing up in the Chelsea Hotel. She had eccentric parents. She was an only child, and she had a very unusual upbringing, and it's a really fascinating read. The Chelsea Hotel, of course, famous for a lot of its eccentric tenants, and she grew up there among them. Very fun. So this is a great read. Alright, next is one of my favorite books I've ever read, and I'll probably refer to this book again and again, probably read it again and again. This one is by Luc Sante. It's called Low Life. This is a very comprehensive history of New York City, but the seedy side of New York City. And this is such a great book. I can't say enough about it. It's a big book, and it's another one you can't put down. It says Lures and Snares of Old New York. And the history in this book is incredible. So if you're fascinated by New York City history or history in general, this is an absolute must. Low Life by Luc Sante. I loved it. I can't say enough about it. And a writer friend of mine, when I showed I was reading this book, he was like, oh, one of the best books ever, and I agree. I so agree. Next I read Viv Albertine's memoirs, Close, 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 Music, 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 Boys, Boys, Boys. Viv Albertine, of course, from the female punk band The Slits. This was a great book, and I really appreciated this book because although she grew up in London and I was in the New York City area, the scene was the same. So I really enjoyed this book. So everything was familiar to me. The bands, you know, the clothes, everything. So that was really fun. The music, of course. I showed you this not long ago, but I really enjoyed this book. Rock Bottom, Dark Moments in Music Babylon by Pamela DeBar. I don't know if it's Desbar or DeBar. She is the famous GTO, Girls Together Outrageously in the 60s. famous groupie. She wrote I'm With the Band, and this is a great one. And even though there were some people in here I didn't have that much interest in, their stories were fascinating. I was like amazed. I was amazed at what a horrible person that what's his name? Chuck Berry was. Oh God. Oh my God, what a horror. And Gigi Allen is in here. Gigi Allen's one of the most disgusting people that ever lived. Johnny Thunder stories in here. It's incredible. This is a must read for music fans. Absolute must. Now, this is the book that I could not put down yesterday. I read the whole book in one day. Phenomenally fascinating. I had a whole new respect for what soldiers go through, especially the Afghanistan and Iraq soldiers that went to those countries. Oh my God, they were fighting a war that had no rules, because they were fighting these people that were psycho, just psychotic. The landmines, or whatever you call them, those incendiary explosive devices that they would put in the curbs on the street, or anywhere they could find them. That's why so many soldiers lost their limbs and stuff. But this book is called What Have We Done? The Moral Injury of Our Longest Wars by David Wood. Now, it took many years after World War II I think it was even after Vietnam, that they came up with the actual diagnosis of PTSD. Back in World War I, World War II, they just called it shell shock, But they had an actual diagnosis around Vietnam with PTSD. Now, PTSD is recognized, but there is a new diagnosis now coming up, very controversial, but it's called the moral injuries. So PTSD can't be seen physically, they just have symptoms of fear and sleeplessness and terror and paranoia. But moral injuries are even different. It's like, this is fascinating. I couldn't put it down, because that I was a student of psychology when I was in high school, and this moral injury idea is incredible, because so many people that came back from Iraq and Afghanistan could not deal with the fact that they killed children, that they had to kill children, because children were in fact being used by Al-Qaeda to shoot at them, to detonate the bombs, and it was just insane. And a lot of people just don't have the ability to comprehend killing a child. So many of these guys came back so messed up. I mean, some of them could never even have kids, because they would be reminded of kids that they killed. It's really sad. So I read this book in 2 sittings in one day. I could not put it down, and I highly recommend it. What Have We Done? The Moral Injury of Our Longest Wars, David Wood. So many guys signed up after 9/11 to fight these crazy bastards that did what they did. But when they got there and saw what kind of dirty fighters they were, it was a horror. And some of these guys were so young, 17, 18, 19 years old. It's just almost unbearable. But this book was incredible. Could not put it down. Today, I started the Zapple Diaries, The Rise and Fall of the Last Beatles label. And I read close to half of it already, because this is another one that is so great. This is a label that Apple, the Beatles, and Apple started to release avant-garde, spoken word, alternative music, whereas Apple was the pop arm of their record label. this was going to be the alternative. And it's great. I mean, you have the Invicta bookstore with the Beat era poets that were in London at the time. A lot of the Beats from New York would come over there and visit, and they were trying to record all the Beat poets. They wanted Ken Kesey on here. Burroughs was big. He was always hanging around the studio. And this is absolutely fascinating. A different part of the Beatles, a different side of the Beatles that you don't really know about. It was Paul that was into the more alternative stuff, the arts and reading and the poets than John. John didn't really get that way until he met Yoko. So it was at the Invicta Gallery. They had the bookstore and the gallery, and it was at that gallery, Paul's gallery, that John met Yoko. So very, very interesting book, and I'm sure I'll be done with it in a couple of days. And right now I only have one thing on the horizon to read after that at the moment, and that is New York Stories. And this has stuff by Kerouac. This looks really good. A nice little book. This is Everyman's Pocket Classics. We have Kerouac, we have O. Henry, we have John Cheever, Shirley Jackson, Willa Cather, Truman Capote. A lot of great stuff in here. So I'm pretty excited about that. New York Stories, just some little short stories by some very famous people, which I think I will really enjoy after reading about war. And this is so great. I can't get over how good this is. I didn't know a lot about the history of Zapple, so that's really, really fun. And also, Zapple was coming to be around the time that the Beatles were having issues, with each other. So, and a lot of that did stem from Yoko being around all the time. But this is fascinating. If you're a Beatles fan, this is an absolute must. If you're a Beat writer fan, the Beat writers, this is a must. And just 60s subculture, great, great. So that is my stack of what I've been reading lately, what I have read lately, in order of how I read them. After I read New York Stories, I'll probably get into that that beer course. I'd like to check that out. That'll be fun. So, the mailman brought me this. And this is so exciting. I can't wait to show you. Let's open it up. So exciting. These are, look how cool the box is. It's so fantastic. I love Teespring. Alright, so first up we have, these are the new t-shirts, guys. Here is the tank top. You know me and tank tops. I love them. So I always have to get a tank top. This one is Sideshow Tink on YouTube. Tink with the Scully right there. Really, really fun. And the back has that fabulous, we love music, thrift stores, and horror. Look at that. How fun. In a horror type, in a chiller type font. And the shirt is basically black and orange. But this is, it's just so great. So that is the tank top. Then, for the autumn and winter, here is our long sleeve shirt. Really nice, all cotton. Just really, really cool. Same thing, Sideshow Tink on YouTube. Tink and Scully. We love music, thrift stores, and horror. Just so much fun. So, I'm really excited about them. The quality is excellent. The printing is beautiful, as always. And these shirts, they wash great, and they're just so well worth it. So, show your support and grab one of our new t-shirts. They're so fun. If you like sleeveless like me, let your tattoos out. Get yourself a tank top, or if you like to sleep in sleeveless, a lot of people like to sleep in sleeveless. I do. Otherwise, get your long sleeve for the winter and show your support for the tank. Very, very fun. I'm so excited about those. So that was exciting because I didn't know what was in the box. And then I saw the little, and I love the box. It's really heavy duty. Check it out. And then I saw spring on the side, and I knew it was my samples. So I was very, very excited. So I think that's it, guys. Like I said, we're going to be making some caramel apples, which will be really fun. And so I had a hard time finding Brock's caramels. I was like, what the hell? Are they all sold out because it's autumn? Or what? I used to see them everywhere, bags of them everywhere. And the store I went to only had these little bags, so I had to buy like 4 of the little bags because it's all they had. So I wound up spending like a lot more because the tiny bag was $1.99, and I bought 4 of them, so whatever. But at least I found them. I got 2 different kinds of sticks because I had an idea. I got a thick dowel kind of stick. And then I thought, you know what, round sticks, when you try to eat it, the apple spins sometimes. So I also got the flat ice cream sticks. So we'll see what we want to use. I got Granny Smith apples, and we'll make those one day this week. Maybe tomorrow morning or something. But, so that's it from you guys, I think. I hope you're having a magical, mystical, musical Tuesday. Comment, subscribe, spread the love. I love you all. Tink merch below, including the new t-shirts. Radio Tink podcast link below. And until next time, remember, I will always be there for you. Love you all. Happy reading.